a reboot that has ruined your childhood, a cartoon that is worse than modern Family Guy, and there's no chance that they will make Thomas great again.
This is not entertainment! It is absolutely disgraceful and unacceptable on every single level! They've really done it now! I wish this piece of scrap would be destroyed! But I cannot do this alone! Seven odd individuals who are planning to tackle this atrocity too? Precisely. Perfect.
Hello everyone, Niall the Hero Boy is back with another video on Super Origami Kingdom. Don't have much to say right now, so let's just get this video to introduce themselves quickly, please.
Hello everybody, my name is Markiplier. Welcome back to the I'm just kidding everyone. It's me, Tamatoa Gaming, the 7th member of the Stardust Crusaders. Nice to meet you again, Niall. And nice to meet all of you viewers here. Now, who else is coming over to this event?
How could this next atrocity get worse than modern Family Guy? Family Guy nowadays was bad enough for how cruel it was. But none of that matters because not only are there other bad cartoons that are worse than this, but there are 2 more cartoons I despise even more. And good God, I'm gonna hate this next one. Oh boy, I'm not looking forward to this next atrocity. Anyways, Dogs Eat Dog 6, or nowadays known as Super DED6 Galaxy, is back again and about time too. Before we go any further, there's a cartoon that deserves far more hate than, say, Teen Titans Go. But before we say its name, we've got a new guest who officially made his debut in a Super Origami Kingdom video. And his name is TRAINWRECK Car Studios 2003!
Hello everyone, pleasure to be on this show, and mostly call me Alex, but for the better time, call me Trains Alex. I'm a fan of many shows and games, but since I have been able to arrive, I am so glad to be in the spotlight with everyone.
Hello again to all! It's me, Jurassic Verse 64, a Let's Player and Lucina lover. Please, call me Jurassic for short. Oh yeah, T. I also wanted to thank you and Fangirl for inviting me to the previous group rant, since you two are also the main SOK characters, along with DED6 and Niall.
No problem, man. Anyways, it's time to introduce 2 of my friends who gave me permission to join this event. Give it up for Jason Gomez the Dinosaur and Astro Boy.
Hello guys, Jason Gomez the Dinosaur here again. I'm glad to be here again. Last time, I joined the group rant with my friends that we did a rant about Surf's Up 2 Wave Mania. The worst movie, actually commercial. But I'm glad to be here again.
What is up, my Robo crew? It's your boy Astro Boy, known as Astro Boy Productions, and this is my first time joining the group rant in Super Origami Kingdom. Also, Jason invited me to the group rant, and we're glad to have you here, Tamatoa.
Yup, glad to have you here that you joined the rant in Surf's Up 2.
Well, you 7 are not the the only ones to talk about what today's category is.
Who's that? Show yourself!
Right here! The blue puffball's worst enemy! Right, Pinchy? So, you're the ones who review bad media and wish them to be destroyed? I thought so. Alright, listen up! If you are talking about this next atrocity, then I have no problem turning it into scrap. But before we do, shall we get to today's category?
Let's get to it.
Today's category is none other than that one particular show from our childhood, Thomas the Tank Engine.
Thomas and Friends was my very childhood back in the day. I used to play with all those wooden toy models, tracks that you can assemble, and many characters from said shows. I even remember going to a Thomas theme park a long time ago. I even used to watch the movies and shows on VHS and on TV. Those were the good old days. You had the classic era when they used models and the CGI era. In fact, I even went to the Liberty Science Center where they have an actual Thomas exhibit.
Mostly everyone knows Thomas and Friends. I even remember watching this nostalgia back when I was little.
The old days have been good to me. And guess what? I made my debut in Thomas and the Magic Railroad as the main villain! I really mean business and I love being evil! Well, in calling all engines, I was a lot less villainous than before, but I still caused more trouble in Day of the Diesels, and in my latest appearance, I stole some Christmas decorations. I really wish I had more appearances outside of movies, but despite that, I don't think the franchise could get any worse. Can it?
But as we move forward, it was cancelled at the end of season 24. A sad moment right there. But Thomas and Friends returned as a 2D animated reboot. And let me tell you, it was just absolutely beyond abysmal.
What is that? It's just a skunk. A skunk?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are they out of their mind?
So let me get this straight. After several months of hiatus, Mattel decided not to continue where season 24 left off, and instead replace it all with a shitty animated reboot. With shitty 2D animation, shitty characters, shitty stories, shitty songs, and shitty everything!
Oh my god. Before we really get started, let's talk about the reboots in general. A reboot is taking a property or show that was popular and loved by many people years ago, and then bringing it back to modern day television. We had some decent and good reboots like the 2020 Animaniacs, Thunderbirds Are Go, She-Ra, Morph, Danger Mouse, 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and DuckTales. But then we have some bad and awful reboots like CGI Bob the Builder, Teen Titans Go, and 2016 Powerpuff Girls. Why?
And this is one of them! Why do we call this a reboot, or rather spin-off, instead of just season 25 onwards? Because this feels like we're watching a completely different show, and it makes the other bad reboots look harmless by comparison! Not just that, it feels like we're watching a YouTube series of Thomas. If you remember those types of videos from several years ago, the ones with wacky expressions, cartoon sound effects, and slapstick humor. And thankfully, those were not official to the Thomas series, but here, it has actually come to life! No wonder parents, kids, and the entire media were outraged by this when it was first announced.
I agree with Dog City Dog 6. All Engines Go is not the Thomas and Friends we all know.
All Engines Go is by far The worst show that I ever watched in my entire life! I only love the real and CGI series, but not this reboot!
And I'm not going to rage as much as the previous rant in this channel this time, because even if I see the biggest problems with this show, one show is far worse than this, and Niall will mention this later.
I am also saving my energy for something really big later on.
But I ain't got time to talk about something that is considered off topic. Let's get this over with, because Pinchy and I have been dying to destroy this atrocity big time.
Now before we begin, if you don't want to watch us go insane, even though I won't, then please leave and don't watch the video. But if you are, then enjoy. Here's why All Engines Go is a train wreck. No pun intended.
Cause confusion and delay.
Oh my lord! There are so many things wrong with this reboot that we don't even know where to start. I suppose we shall start with the beginning because that's the first thing we talk about. The idea behind All Engines Go. Straight after the end of the CGI series, which ended on a really low note, suddenly transitioning into a cliche 2D animated cartoon is just... oh...
Now, I have not watched as many All Engines Go episodes, and I'm probably not gonna plan to watch them myself, judging by the audience ratings, reviews, and the bashful screenshots of the horror details. Can we all be for real though? They are all trains! Trains don't move from physics! Only the characters from Cars are allowed to do that, because at least the train characters from Cars move in a single line on the train tracks, unlike what Mattel did with all of the train characters in this atrocity.
My god! What have they done to our favorite tank engines? This looks like something you would find on those cheap YouTube Kids videos. But then again, most of those YouTube Kids videos are just... I don't want to go into too much detail with that, because we are here to talk about All Engines Go. Mattel massacred them all horribly. Even Hungry Shark Evolution and Hungry Shark World look so much better than these videos and that show.
They literally f***ing butchered everything. Just why? And this show is still going apparently and is on f***ing Netflix?
Who in their right minds would ever come up with an idea so random, unnecessary, and completely nonsensical?
Before we go and talk about things wrong in this reboot, I don't really swear much. Same goes for Astro Boy. Now, let's talk about this reboot.
Let me tell you how this all started, guys. You see, All Engines Go came out on September 13th, 2021, 2 years ago. When we see Thomas and his friends, they do not look like they are from the real and CGI series. Instead, they decided to turn Thomas and his friends into kid trains. Like, what the heck is wrong with them? What happened to the original series of Thomas and Friends? We want more of them, not this reboot garbage!
Some bad cartoons at least wait a little while before they start sucking, but oh no, not this one. This starts sucking almost immediately. Now then, let's address the main problems with the reboot and everything they did wrong. Shall we, folks?
Alright then, let's do it.
We shall.
Go to hell before you die.
Let's begin with everything that is wrong with this god-awful reboot. Let me tell you this. At least the Mario 1993 film is better than All Engines Go because the film is so bad that it's funny to watch. I owe the 1993 Mario movie an apology now for ranting on it. But with All Engines Go, just Christ! This reboot of a show sucks ass!
It's not the first time I've seen a putrid reboot of a kid's show. The Bob the Builder reboot show came before All Engines Go. First the Bob the Builder reboot, and now this shit? What's next? Another reboot that involves the Teletubbies in the Nickelodeon 2D animation talking full sentences? I hope that doesn't happen. If it does, then give that fault to the goddamn Thomas and Friends reboot.
Alright, so that doctor started talking about the reboot. Want to know how many he counts in the reboot? He counts 50 that there's everything wrong about the reboot. Me and my friends agree with that doctor. Not only that, we seen everything!
Let's talk about the intro. Oh my god. The iconic Thomas and Friends intro was amazing from both original and the CGI, but the reboot. It's like the most annoying intro I have ever heard in my lifetime.
Here comes Thomas on the #1 engine. Whoa! All engines go! Down the hills and round the whoa! All engines go!
What the
Thomas had never seen such bullshit before.
Alex is right. The intro is so f***ing annoying. Why do they have to make an intro like this one? The intros from the original and CGI series are way better than the annoying reboot intro.
Yeah, and do you all want to know how long the intro is? It's 1 minute and 27 seconds!
I thought intros were meant to be 30 seconds long. To people who make intros on YouTube, listen up! Intros should be shorter and outros should be longer so that you can jump into the content faster! Got it?
It's not even an intro. It's not even good. The intro is really annoying. I heard that it's their new intro from now on. Why would they say it's their intro? I love the original and the CGI series, but not this one. Not this from the annoying reboot.
What else did they do wrong? Oh yes! They defy the laws of realism! Look at this! The engines can jump and turn around without the need of a turntable. They use wheels as hands and legs. They bounce off around the nearest track. The engines have no side rods, no crew members. Rolling stock, like coaches and trucks, can move on their own. Make obstacle courses, anything! But it's not just defying the laws of realism, oh no. They also defy the laws of physics too!
All the engines using their wheels as limbs? It's definitely something you would see in all 3 Cars movies, and cartoon shows like Looney Tunes, Pink Panther, and Tom and Jerry. But at least those worked for their standards. But here, this is way beyond broken laws of physics. And I have seen shows where even reality itself is broken.
Oh yeah, what Jurassic said. When they switched on a track, they used their wheels to flip a switch. And look at this picture that Jason found. It shows Reboot Thomas acting like a superhero. What trains can do that? And to make matters worse, when they back up, they look back.
Why would someone this stupid make something like that? Trains can't move their wheels on their own, jump from track to track and even look back! What kind of engine does that? The answer is nobody! Not even Thomas!
Now, I wanted to say this. Why don't they have their side rods? They are important to all steam trains. See? That's what a side rod does on a steam train. They shouldn't make it right for the reboot characters.
Also, why don't Reboot Thomas and Friends have their drivers and firemen? They're important too! In Old Iron, James didn't have a driver or fireman because 2 boys fiddled with his controls, which caused him to get into a runaway, but he was saved thanks to the efforts of Edward. In the runaway, Thomas was in a runaway and he didn't have a driver and fireman as well. And in Percy Runs Away, Gordon was inches away from Percy. And then Percy started going backwards really fast. That's what happens when engines don't have a driver and fireman.
Bah! I bet the new generation of Thomas fans would rather watch the old show than this steaming lump of scrap iron!
Okay, folks, now it's time for another glaring flaw.
The episodes themselves are really cliche and unoriginal. The plot lines from each story are stuff we've seen so many times from movies and cartoons that are already more superior than this. Such examples include space, dragons, spies, theme parks, superheroes, camping, treasure maps, scavenger hunts, and balloons? What is this madness?
Let's go all the way back to the beginning before these burdens showed up recently. In the movie, Thomas and Friends, The Adventure Begins, Thomas was new to Sordor, but in episode 1, in the real Thomas and Friends, the narrator introduces Thomas, as well as Gordon. Now,
Some stories were rehashed from either episodes that are classics or the kind of episodes that are horrible on their own, like Edward Strikes Out, Scarloey the Brave, Wonky Whistle, etc. For instance, the episode Ghost Train. Does that title look familiar to you? Of course it does! It's a lazy rehash of the same episode title from season 2 of the classic series! And the first episode, A Thomas Promise, with both Thomas and Diesel, is actually a rehash from the season 12 episode, Don't Go Back, which was already bad enough with an equally bad message. What makes it worse is that this is the first episode! Also, License to Deliver. Really? Making a spoof of License to Kill? That's just how we like our childhood. Dismantled. And then repainting it to something nowhere near as good!
Here's something I don't understand. I saw heavy stuff on the cars. How can little train kids pull heavy cars? Did the kid trains exercise?
No!
do you know what that is called? That is called unrealism. Unrealism is a state of three things: the lack of realism, the failure of verisimilitude, and the ineptitude in dealing with reality. Here is an example I found. You see, I was watching a compilation video on the trains crashing in All Engines Go. If you have never seen how the train crashes, this is the footage of what the train crash looks like in real life. And the original CGI does a lot of similar crashes from real life because of how well they paid attention to real life.
But do not be surprised at what the crashes from All Engines Go look like from the compilation! Because in the compilation video, we have Thomas jumping up and down, dodging the rock slide until he hits a rock, which causes him to leap and crash down the hill! What in the treasury has our society come to? Are you all seeing what I'm seeing right now?
I mean, if trains were to actually leap crash in real life, or in the original Thomas and Friends show, the conductors, the people, the mechanisms, and the delivered object would be nothing but smashed Lego pieces. Millions would die and be hospitalized if trains were to actually leap down from the hill, what Thomas just did. The fact that he leap crashed just sickened me.
You won't believe what makes me a little mad, guys. Gordon is now the controller of the railway!
I'm postponing all deliveries until the power is back.
Oh, the indignity.
Sir Topham Hatt, aka the Fat Controller, is the controller of the railway. You can see that he told Reboot, Thomas, and his friends what to do. Gordon should just pull the express. He loves pulling the express. And also, why is he pulling a good train? He hates goods trains. He will just say this.
A goods train, a goods train, a goods train, he grumbled. The shame of it, the shame of it, oh, the shame of it.
Okay, I know the original Thomas and Friends 3D CGI show was the GOAT tier here, but nobody told me that Gordon hated goods trains. But then again, the real Gordon is way better than the fake one. It's very obvious. You know me very well.
Also, Jason, I heard you brought up Sir Topham Hatt. Speaking about Sir Topham Hatt, well, here he is in the reboot. But he doesn't do it the same way that he really does. Watch these videos that Sir Topham Hatt is doing.
What happened? Is There's not enough ingredients left for the bakers to make their own desserts. The bake-off is ruined. I was starting to worry something terrible had happened. What's this? It's no use.
What? It kinda looks like Sir Topham Hatt is just doing nothing. He's just nothing like what he normally does. He usually tells engines what to do, but here, he doesn't do anything in the show and shows no purpose. I hate moments where the show defies the law of physics.
This has to be the most unrealistic Thomas production I have ever seen. And I know what hundreds of people are saying right now. Yeah, well, this is a reboot. They can take as many liberties with the source material as they want. Okay, sure. But how can you justify, by neglecting major characters we all remember, butchering the franchise from what it once was since the beginning, and have the main characters do whatever reckless thing they want? This is giving people the illusion that they don't care about quality anymore. If the production crew don't care about what they're making anymore, then why should I care when I'm watching it? As if the unrealism wasn't enough, guess what? They decided to deviate from the source material yet again.
Want some more unrealism? Well, look at this moment where Thomas, Percy, and Nia are standing around a campfire. What the f*** is this? Oh my god! Who thought this was acceptable to defy the laws of physics?
There they go again! With more realism! How dare they disrespect Thomas into something like this?
This is burning my eyes! This defied the laws of physics even more so than those Mundo TV shows that Saberspark and Rick Raptor 105 reviewed! Defying laws of physics should be more with Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, or Pink Panther!
Piece of shiitake planet!
If there is anything that makes you want to cut your ears off with a knife, I'm telling you right now, they added songs in this horrid reboot. Since when were there songs in Thomas? The songs there are just fucking irritating and annoying. All of them are so terrible. I cannot believe Mattel decided to pull off a kids classic show for it to turn into an animation and musical show. And do you know what's the worst part? Mattel thought it would be a good idea to make the animation and the musicals like the animation and musicals like My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. But the only difference is Friendship is Magic worked well, but All Engines Go failed to be a ripoff of My Little Pony. Oh, listen to this song. You're gonna bang your head when hearing this.
I'm gonna chug, I'm gonna chew. I've got a delivery to do. Up hills, down hills, around each bend. Taking this cargo to the end.
Snap the fat controller.
Jesus Christ! Hearing this song is making me confused on which song I hate more. This, Baby Shark, Cocomelon songs, the Happy Tree Friends song, or that song that Justin Bieber sang.
Baby, 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 oh, like baby, 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 no, like baby, 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 oh, thought you'd always be
Don't you dare think about playing that piece of scrap in front of my face! I found a short clip from a YouTube poop that's a lot more funnier than this!
I give you 3 cheers for Justin Bieber.
No. But seriously, I was only happy because that singer was so annoying and he just got what he deserved. Now, back to the atrocious songs, and they are horrendous!
Oh my god, this music is really annoying! I'm gonna chug. I'm gonna chew. I hate that song! Who even likes that song? I'm sure that if people do like it, then that's fine because we all have different opinions. But here's something better that Jason sings. Jason, if you may.
I'm gonna chug, I'm gonna chew, I'm gonna kill myself.
Nice one, Jason.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that's a lot better than the actual song.
I agree. Serves them right for putting in songs that make us suffer. I mean, it's a kids show, of course it's gonna be kids songs. But they did not need to go this far though.
Great singing, Jason. Honestly, I would rather listen to Let It Go and Into the Unknown from Frozen and Frozen 2. Because at least Idina Menzel as Queen Elsa has such an incredible singing voice. Even Jack Black as Bowser when he is singing Peaches is better than that I'm Gonna Chug song. Plus, have you noticed the same way I noticed? The engines can't sing!
Thanks for that, guys. Anyways, all the songs are really annoying that the reboot has. The old songs of Thomas and Friends are way better. I give the reboot songs 0 stars. Oh, here's something better. How about a negative 1,000?
Negative 1,000? That's actually perfect enough for those ear-pulling songs of petulant burdens. But alas, that's not the only annoying one of the show, because there is more. You heard me right, people. There is more. All of them are just suffering along with that song we played here. And the next song we're about to play is going to be worse. Oh, do you really want to know? Find out when we play it. If you may, please.
Fine. This next song is titled Music is Everywhere. No, I have a better title for it. Torture is everywhere! Here's a little sample.
The trains on the meadow go brum, brum, brum. Brum, brum, brum. Brum, brum, brum. The trains on the meadow go brum, brum, brum. Music is everywhere.
Can you all shut the f up? Now, here's a question that applies to every song from this reboot. Am I watching Thomas the Tank Engine, or am I listening to High School Musical? In fact, the singing isn't the worst part of the song. No. The singing is the least of its problems, because at least the actors tried their best. But the actual worst part of the song is this!
The bell in my cab goes ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. It brings me luck in everything.
Dirty Percy
Is everywhere.
Don't call me Dirty Percy!
And yet the reboot decided to make him dirty. This reboot imposter is indeed Dirty Percy.
Don't even think about it.
Anyways, on paper, the idea of having songs in a Thomas show doesn't sound too bad, but would be better if they're music videos on their own. If the songs don't appear too often, then maybe I would give this the benefit of the doubt.
But in practice, the idea is absolutely horrible. It feels like I'm watching High School Musical more than Thomas the Tank Engine. And in all honesty, I'd rather watch that than this. Ugh, yuck!
Ah! Hey! First off, you got blood on me! Second... never mind that, buddy. Let's just get back on topic. It is very unacceptable to be showing off Percy doing something so crass which is not allowed to be shown in kids shows. And it's not funny. You want to add some funny moments for Percy? Use this one for example.
Oh no, Thomas! What's wrong, Percy? I gotta lay a big puff.
You see now? That is how to make Oranges Go actually funny, because one of the characters got what they deserved from the big puff. Sadly, that didn't happen, because All Engines Go is a disgrace of a kid's cartoon.
And we're not going through the next songs because they have the same levels of annoyance and torture, and they grind my gears so much that all the Diesels hate the songs. Myself included, as well as Diesel. But these two right here are the most infamous out of all of them.
See how annoying it is, guys? And also, why is Reboot Percy twerking? Trains don't do that either! Oh, and remember when Reboot Thomas and his friends started singing? Well, Jurassic said that kids can't sing. The way you said that kids can't sing, well, actually, some kids can sing.
Fair point. Anyway, back on topic.
Kill yourselves!
Here's another problem. Listen to their whistles.
Are you listening to this right now? They didn't sound the same as from the real and CGI series. Reboot Thomas still has the same whistle. Okay, at least someone gave James his own whistle. But in one episode, they give him a different whistle.
Hello, Thomas. Hello, Percy.
Consistency. What's that? And as far as I know, it's only Thomas and James who have the correct whistles. But as for the rest, they didn't sound the same. Here's what the original whistles sound like.
See? This is what they sound like from the original series. There's taking liberties with the source material, and then there's disrespecting it entirely! Again, it's only Thomas and James who have their canonical whistles, and nobody else!
But also, I want to know something. Who is Kana? I never seen her before. Jason looked up about Kana, but it turns out Kana wasn't featured in the CGI series. And also, she looks like a Japanese Zero Series Shinkansen bullet train that was introduced to the Japanese National Railways on October 1st, 1964. And all Japanese bullet trains can go really fast.
My guess is that Kana had to be in the reboot. Why can't Kana be featured in the CGI? And here's something weird. When Kana wakes up, she just stretches like a cat or a dog. I know that cartoons are not meant to be realistic, but this is just ridiculous. And the animation is very poor. It basically looks like an animation for a mobile game rather than a TV show. But it's not as horrible as the animation from Food Fight. No. That animation is way more unpolished than this.
I want to know this. I really do. Diesel being friends with Thomas and his friends? Oh yeah, they're friends now, sure, why not? Go ahead, be friends with a Diesel who tried to frame Duck for something he didn't even do and told lies to the other engines thinking they were gonna be scrapped. I thought there was usually a big vendetta between Steamies and Diesels because in calling all engines in favor of the Diesels, it's confirmed that the Steamies and Diesels are rivals and don't get along very well, with some exceptions like Boko, Salty, Daisy, those kind of Diesels.
I mean, in the original series, it has stories that can be taken seriously, like Tale of the Brave. But at least it had some dark and intense moments in this series, as well as some unintentional nightmare fuel, like Henry bricked up in a tunnel, James's ear-piercing scream after getting stung by a bee, engines getting scrapped, trucks and brake vans getting smashed into pieces, the terrifying presence of Ari and Bert, Diesel 10, and the list goes on. But here, there is nothing serious whatsoever, and when they do try to take things seriously, it doesn't work because either the characters are horrible, the payoff is off, and when a situation in general is meant to be taken seriously, or they would just say an awful joke.
Hey, where's the dragon? It's Dragon!
Oh my god, who the hell cares?
And that brings us to another problem. The humor!
I will refer to a certain meme for this, but it already speaks for itself. The jokes and humor aren't even funny in the slightest. Not even a nice try. is a total epic fail. The humor of this reboot is so fucking boring. If I were to torture myself trying to find the best humor here, I might as well have a stroke and go extinct trying to find it long enough.
Want to know the most annoying thing ever in terms of comedy? It's this.
Shut the up! It's not funny. Whistle, James. He had had enough.
This has to be the most annoying and immature thing I have ever heard. That Reaper imposter looks like he's stoned on cocaine. He's worse than that blue puffball I hate. You, Space God, how annoying was that clip?
Oh, how annoying was it? Well, there's a very simple answer to that. It's f***ing annoying! Anyways, the humor, if you could even call it humor, isn't funny at all. There's no funny insults, roasts, and comebacks. There's no funny remarks. There's no funny mistakes. There's nothing funny here whatsoever. They just tell an awful joke now and again.
Do you think one of them is not funny? Well then, here's what I don't understand. We saw many accidents in the original and CGI series, but in the reboot, what kind of accidents did they have? Reboot Thomas falls to a mud puddle and he's still moving!
Hold up. Hold up. Why would they keep moving when they have accidents? That doesn't make sense. If they have fire on them, how come they didn't put it out?
This is just inconsistent stupidity. And there's more stupidity like when that little green caterpillar was flying on balloons. Wait, just stop for a second. Here's another clip, because this one right here speaks for itself.
Balloons? Balloons? Balloons!
And here's something else that really bothers me. Why did Carly become a main character? How did she go from being a giant dockyard crane like Cranky to a crane engine? You have Harvey, he is the actual crane engine.
You know what? I agree with you. Besides, we all love movies. Jason and Astro's favorite movie, along with me, is Thomas and the Magic Railroad. But I heard that All Engines Go just made movies and toys.
What? What did you say?
They made movies and toys.
You're lying, right?
No. No, I'm not.
Wait a minute, hold on. Let me look it up on my phone. All Legends Go toys. Guys? Trains Alex Car Studios 2003 is right about all of this.
Here it comes. The overreacting will begin now.
Oh. Okay. Aaron, don't leave. Aaron, don't. Aaron! I love you!
No, I'm done. I'm done.
No, you're not.
This is bull.
I'm gonna go.
This is fucking bullshit.
I can't get off!
What is this?
I can't get off!
What is this?
I'm stuck!
What is my life? I can't do it, John.
I can't either!
I can't fucking do it anymore.
I'll tell you what, Aaron! You can give up now, or you can beat it out, because I certainly can't do it without you, and I know you can't do it without me.
I appreciate it, but look what we're dealing with, man.
Aaron!
You gotta draw the line somewhere.
Aaron, we
gotta draw a fucking line in the sand, dude.
Aaron,
you gotta make a statement. You gotta look inside yourself and say, what am I willing to put up with today? Not this. No! No, don't do it, you asshole! F***ing loser!
You gotta be kidding me. Now they're making more movies and toys? Come on.
What the f*** is wrong with them? Here's the movie, Race for the Sodor Cup. Really? Luckily I didn't watch the movie. Here's something Jason made, and trust me, it's a lot better than the actual title. Race for nothing at all! You get nothing! you lose. Good day, sir.
My guys is the best roasts. That'll teach him, because if the show itself is getting bad reviews, then why are they continuing the show?
I love that. But still, why should they make toys? The old toys of Thomas and Friends are the best, but these are not cool at all.
And not to mention, there is another movie called Mystery of Lookout Mountain. And throughout most of the movie, the engines are scared of nothing and the so-called mine monster. Oh my god. It's just a miner called Darcy. At least in the Luigi's Mansion games. It makes sense because of his fear of ghosts. But all the characters here, aside from Bruno, all act one-dimensional. And it all becomes something out of a chase scene from Scooby-Doo.
This is proof that Thomas and Friends had already fallen from grace. At least the episodes from the original and CGI series didn't try to copy each other's stories by showing a different story for each episode. But here, the premise is exactly the same. They learn many life lessons and solve problems while going about their daily lives doing jobs with help from each other's and the other residents and visitors of the island. This now makes the show just really formulaic.
A formulated pieces of scrap with absolutely no thought or effort put into it, and only thinks about merchandising and not about storytelling or improving the problems from the 24 seasons before it.
Yeah, unfortunately, this has gone down the same road as Batman and Robin. Instead of giving us enjoyable stories that everyone can enjoy, you know, the reason the original series was made in the first place, the series is nothing more than a massive, blatant advertisement, trying to advertise as many toys and movies as possible.
But if you think you've just seen the worst the reboot had to offer, you haven't seen much yet. Now we come to the characters.
Oh, will you please just shut up?
Before we truly talk about the characters, let's just get this out of the way. Bruno is literally the only character that isn't bad and is the saving grace of this awful show. But now, let's get into the awful ones, starting with Thomas.
Oh, don't get me started on the blue puffball himself!
Thomas, the #1 tank engine himself. Okay, I just want to start by asking, what the f have they done with our #1 tank engine? This is not the Thomas we know. This is an imposter!
Here's what Thomas's #1 looks like. So why should they change it?
And the funnels? They look like warp pipes from the Mario series.
Look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No.
Also, how can Steam make shapes? Like making hands or anything.
Not to mention, Astro, Thomas is always the main character in every single episode. I mean, come on! Can't they give the spotlight to other characters?
I know that, Jurassic. Thomas is the best character and a superstar.
Thomas is the best character, not this reboot dork. I wish that we could destroy the reboot Thomas because he's nothing like his normal self.
What is this monstrosity? He's the little blue puffball, but worse. I'll let Pinchy munch on his stupid face. Same with everyone else.
Reboot Percy himself. He's just scared of everything. He's not like that. He used to pull the mail at night. So why didn't they make him deliver the mail at night like he always does?
It's like taking the cowardly personality from Henry and to a further extent, Toby, and crank it up to 11! If you thought Percy's anxiety from the episode Panicky Percy had skyrocketed to unbelievably over-exaggerated proportions, this is even more so. he's probably the wimpiest out of all the main characters. Going back to the original series again, in Percy's Promise, Percy braved bad weather to help Thomas. In Toby and the Flood, he saved Toby from danger, and in Put Upon Percy, he was even buried alive for crying out loud! Here though, it honestly makes people who struggle with anxiety seem like they're insane! And I say it's too far-fetched, don't you think? And Luigi was even more brave by the time we got to Luigi's Mansion 3. But here, nuh-uh. Percy showed absolutely no signs of bravery at all, because now they've reduced him to an engine afraid of his own shadow. Congratulations!
Diesel himself, being so nice to Thomas and his friends, he should just bully him and his friends. Well, he's kind of bullying him and making fun of him. Why should they be friends? Diesel should just be a bully to them. But here, he's not like his normal self. Screw Reboot Diesel.
That is not the Diesel I remember! If anything, he's more like Nelson from The Simpsons than Diesel. Seriously, this Diesel is an imposter! He's a protagonist now, when he's meant to be an antagonist to set up a conflict. You know how he framed Duck and told lies to engines thinking that they're getting scrapped? Well, guess what? This guy is best friends with Thomas instead! Also, what is with his forehead? Not all Diesels are nice, even though I hate the friendly Diesels because they are traitors. Next!
Nia herself. If you don't know who she is, Nia's from Thomas and Friends Big World Big Adventures. The biggest disappointment ever. She joined Sodor and was featured more in the series of CGI. So now why is she in the reboot? I guess we'll never know. But all I can tell you is that she serves no purpose whatsoever in this show.
Kana herself. Who is she anyway? She wasn't part of the CGI series. She is a Japanese bullet train. Oh yeah, guys. Just to let you all know, I know every single Japanese trains in Japan. Especially from other countries as well.
And he's a trade expert.
Kana's existence is really questionable. And we know absolutely nothing about her. Apparently, I heard that she's the replacement for Rebecca. Come on! She's just there with no explanation why. And do you know what makes me angry? She doesn't have a backstory. Wait. Hang on. Jurassic, does Kana have an origin story?
I'm afraid not.
No, I thought not. At least characters in the original series got introductory episodes. Even characters from the CGI series like Ryan, Scruff, Hugo, Winston, especially Charlie and the Logging Locos. Kana, on the other hand, doesn't though. Talk about pointlessness.
Moving on to the Galloping Sausage. Is he any better at the very least?
I mean, not really, not especially. We already saw what Reboot Gordon was doing, being the controller of the railway instead of pulling the express and no longer saying his two famous catchphrases anymore. Sir Topham Hatt is the actual controller of a railway, and he gives the order to some engines. Also, Gordon's voice sounds kind of familiar to me. What could it be?
Wait, me too!
Astro, are you thinking who it can be?
Oh, I think I know.
The voice of Reboot Gordon is...
Neil Crone!
That's right! The same actor in Thomas and the Magic Railroad who voiced not only Gordon...
but also voiced me! He perfectly nailed my performance!
Me and Jason thought that Neil had passed away. But we were wrong, even though Thomas and the Magic Railroad came out in the year 2000.
Yeah, the voice sounds the same. Oh, and if you guys don't believe us that it's the same voice of Gordon, well, here's proof.
You, Thomas, are small. Small, teeny, weeny. And I'm a big blue engine who knows everything.
Instead of being thrown away, they're going to Whiff's recycling plant.
I was very surprised that Neil is still alive. For a second, I thought he passed away. But I was wrong. So why is he joining All Engines Go and doing the voice of Reboot Gordon. My guess is that he wants to join Thomas and Friends again.
How come I never noticed this for like 21 years? Like, what? Anyways, you would think the voice acting would salvage this reboot, right? Wrong! Not even the voice acting in this show piqued my interest. I mean, they tried, don't get me wrong, but they are wasted in this abomination. Next!
Now we got Carly. What really makes my blood boil is that they changed her from a crane, like how Big Mickey and Cranky is in the classic and CGI series, to a steam engine, like how the rest of Thomas's friends are. Why did they have to make this change in the series? This is giving me a headache with characters changing their appearances. Just stick with one or the other. She is meant to be a crane, not a f***ing engine.
Sandy, the tiny engine? What kind of a train is that? It's so tiny. All engines are bigger than that tiny train. It's almost like a toy. Ha, but for real, why is Sandy a tiny train? Look how tall those other reboot trains are. You can't make every train small. Otherwise, they will be like toys. Not like those toys.
We do have other characters known as background characters, but I think we can't move on to them. We have Edward, Henry, James, and Emily. Whoa!
I've never seen Reboot Emily like that before. Also, why is Emily so big? We have some trains that have the same height. Some trains are big, like the Union Pacific Big Boy number 4014, owned by Union Pacific, is bigger than some other trains.
For me, Emily is a great character from the original and CGI series. So why is Emily big? Normal Emily looks like this.
This Emily is cool. We like that version, but in the reboot, she's very big. Don't even think that she can be really fat.
And that brings me to another problem. The character proportions are really, really off. Oh, and the term fat is very outdated. We use the term big boned. But when I saw this, I was like, has she been on super mushrooms or something? I don't get it! How is it I prefer Rosalina as a giant goddess over this? And did they do anything with Emily? No, not really! She just goes around pulling a private coach with Sir Topham hat. Well, who does that remind me of? Oh, I don't know. Spencer?
The self-absorbed one! Rusty red scrap iron! I thought he usually boasts about his bright red paintwork and how splendid he really is. No! This imposter is better off with a coat of orange and brown rust!
We always know that James is a splendid red engine, and he was ready for anything. Also, you never see his paint dirty.
Yeah, in the original series, James has crashed into some tar wagons, got into a runway without a driver, got stung by a bee, encountered an old tree in his path, got jealous of a hot air balloon, got tricked by Gordon into collecting the Queen of Sodor, which turned out to be a leaky old barge, and also became a laughingstock when his paintwork was pink and hid from embarrassment. He had some great moments, and he had horrible moments like this episode, Apology Impossible. But here? No! He just says hello to Thomas and literally does nothing else. And don't get me started what they did to Edward and Henry. They couldn't do anything worse, right? Of course not!
Good God, they've neglected them once again and pushed them to the mud! It was bad enough that they got replaced in season 22, but the treatment they got in the reboot is even worse! How dare they insult Edward and Henry fans again! Oh, and do you know what's even worse? Thomas doesn't know their names anymore! And how do I know this? Because of this infamous scene.
Oh no! It's gonna hit those trains!
Edward exploded.
Not only did they deny old iron and old square wheels again, but now that scene made me hate that bull imposter even more! Oh, they've really ruined the Blue Puffball's legacy. I think the scene should have played like this. Now that is more like it. Anyone else?
Oh, and remember that Bruno is the only saving grace to the show and the only character to be spared? And before you all ask, no, we're not talking about the song We Don't Talk About Bruno. I meant this Bruno. See? This is him. And he's a caboose. Also, here's something that surprised me. Bruno's ladder steps are moving. That doesn't make any sense. Ladders don't move. And how is he moving? Cabooses don't move either.
Once again, rolling stock cannot move on their own unless they're hitched to a train. Annie and Clarabelle can move on their own. The troublesome trucks can move on their own, even though they're meant to be playing tricks on engines and causing trouble. But compared to every character from the show, he's the only good character. Why? Because at least he adds something good to the show. If you are wondering, yes, I am aware that Mattel just added him in as a marketing stunt. But it isn't his fault. When we get to the punishment, we won't destroy Bruno. So, he will be the only one to be spared. But the rest, no!
Then there's Cranky. Well, if I remember correctly, Cranky from the original series is usually bad temperature because he's initially working day and night without rest. He loves teasing other engines, but however, he does show a bit of kindness. But here, where did Cranky's personality go? Hence his name. Because now Cranky was giving Thomas orders by delivering goods to their destination, but apparently Cranky didn't know that he messed up all the cargo. Why would he do that? I don't know. But what I do know is that he has little to no screen time. In fact, another problem with the characters we all remember is that they never have any major roles. They just run along the sets as background characters and they say a couple of lines of dialogue that aren't even important in the slightest, or even plot-wise.
And finally, we got Fat Hat himself.
We already showed you what he's actually doing. He's just in a panic and probably went crazy. And we got Gordon, who is the controller of the railway.
For real this time. Why should Sir Topham Hatt act like that? The normal Sir Topham Hatt is the best controller of the railway, not Gordon. The real Sir Topham Hatt, who is the head of the railway, makes sure everything is running smoothly and right on time with no confusion and delay. Although he can be strict when he scolds engines for things that are entirely out of their control, on the other hand, he's teaching them a valuable lesson to be responsible and reliable. Nevertheless, he's so proud of his engines, he finds them really useful. But here, he's more of a generic comic relief and less of an authority figure from the original series. Gordon being the controller of the railway? That doesn't make sense. Engines don't run railways.
That's true! Engines cannot be the controller of the railway. The only controller of the railway is Sir Topham Hatt.
Yeah, I know, genius. He's such a useless character, even though he's still keeping those nasty steamies around. Let this be his fate for how useless he really is.
I send feeble engines away. Bother, he said. Excellent, said Daisy.
But that won't be his real death, because when we get to the punishment section, his death will be extremely painful and violent.
I agree. I just wish I can destroy that reboot Sir Topham Hatt. Screw all engines go!
And like I said, it makes the other bad reboots look harmless and makes Family Guy nowadays look like The Simpsons! It's just a disgrace to Thomas in general! Teen Titans Go can be ignored as that gets way too much hate. Oh yeah, sure, hate it all you want, but this reboot, it deserves all that hate it has! This reboot is an absolute travesty! So, Shall we destroy the characters?
Oh yeah, we will destroy those reboot characters. But who will be the last kill?
I'd probably guess that it will be Reboot Thomas!
Oh yeah, Reboot Thomas is never getting off scot-free. At all.
Yeah, Reboot Thomas should be the last one to be killed.
Before we move on, we all know that trains don't have blood. They only have oil, so we can't do the kill thing to them. We can only destroy them. But not Bruno, because he will be the only one spared. Maybe Bruno is not that bad, but the reboot engines are bad. Now let's move on to the final verdict.
I'm going to kill you!
Since we're in the final verdict, now you all understand or saw everything wrong with this reboot. And by that, I mean
everything! To sum up, Thomas and Friends All Engines Go is not only a disgrace to the Thomas legacy, but this is a disgrace to the Reverend W. Audrey! And do you know what the absolute worst part is? The worst part of all is that we never get a behind-the-scenes look for All Engines Go. No interviews, no footage of the voice actors recording their lines, no shots of how they produced it, no tour of the animation facility, no podcasts, nothing! It feels as if Mattel and Nelvana are too ashamed of their own creation to show us the making of the series and its movie, Race for the Sodor Cup. My final thoughts on this? Aside from those who do enjoy the reboot, and that's fine, but to everyone else who despises it as much as I do, skip this monstrosity. It is a complete waste of everyone's time.
And the rating? Well, we're all giving it a 1.5 out of 10, just like all kinds of bad media, just for the heck of it.
Aside from Bruno and a few minor redeeming qualities, there is absolutely nothing that can salvage it. The bouncing, the cartoony imagery, no consistency, stupid decisions, realism taken away, and most of all, for not only making a horrible misinterpretation of what Thomas represents, but forgetting Thomas the Tank Engine as a whole completely wrong! And the end result was disastrous. Oh, it's not just the Steamies who hate the reboot, but also the Diesels hate it! Diesel 10 is not the only one who hates the reboot most of all, but the one recognizable engine we all remember who hates the reboot as much as him is Thomas himself!
So overall, one good thing about All Engines Go, it's...
Disgraceful, mumbled Gordon. Disgusting, said James. Despicable, spluttered Henry.
Oh, the indignity.
How will we destroy the reboot now?
Your pathetic teams will not help. The reboot will be destroyed my way.
12 seconds later.
Alright, listen up! Before we go any further, we're all going to destroy the All Engines Go characters one by one.
That won't be necessary. In fact, I have someone to deal with them. Tell me right now, what is this I hear about this train wreck that is All Engines Go?
As you can see, this reboot called All Engines Go has everything that is not the Thomas and Friends we all know.
This reboot really ruined our childhoods.
We already alerted some team to join.
Silence! I'm destroying the reboot my way, whether you like it or not. Your feeble attempts do nothing. Anyways, everyone in the All Engines Go universe will all die.
Also, the last kill you must destroy is Reboot Thomas, but don't kill Bruno.
Give me one reason why I should spare a particular character.
Because at least he adds something good to the show.
I see. Anything that is worthy will be spared, but if anything that means nothing to me, they die.
So my question is, are you ready to destroy this reboot once and for all?
I will only help if necessary. Now, we will kill them all. All engines die. This could be fun.
All engines be destroyed.
Pathetic fools that exist in this reboot will beg for mercy. I will grant them none.
Everyone just sees right through it. They probably won't even like me anymore.
Finish him!
Fatality.
Fuck off!
It was so satisfying to watch this travesty burn in the fires of hell, never to be seen again.
Well, good riddance to that. And I am glad my teammates Bill Cipher, Dark Bowser, and Bowletta came to help. Aside from Bruno being the saving grace, this reboot is really terrible.
I can't believe Mattel ruined Thomas forever. They will never be the same like in the past, as there is no hope in fixing it or making it great again. At least Modern Family Guy still gives me the laughs, despite their character flanderization.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I still hate it, but looking back now, there are cartoons that are worse than this. Like Alan Gregory, The Problem Solvers, Breadwinners, and especially Ren and Stimpy Adult Party cartoon. At least Modern Family Guy is so bad that it's funny, so I'm gonna give that show a pass. But All Engines Go, on the other hand, is so bad that it is insulting. I just don't even know anymore. The franchise is never going to improve at this point. Especially when the reboot made the entire series look like a laughingstock to most people. What the f can I say about the later seasons? The stories are still formulaic and repetitive, the show is more of a toy advertisement than you may think, and the writing isn't getting any better.
Even their toys are no better. They look completely insulting. The Batman and Robin toys and figures are laughing at this cheaper plastic garbage.
I agree with you guys. I'm glad they've been destroyed, and now they've been sent to the scrap or the smelter's yard.
You said it, Jason. We should watch the original and the CGI series instead.
If I ever see bad media right in front of me, they will be sentenced to the scrapyard, broken, melted in the smoldering hellfires of foundries, recycled, no longer important, no longer needed. After all, they can't be really useful if they're scrapped. Anyways, my work here is done, and I shall leave you to wrap things up, because Pinchy is still hungry for some scrap. And remember this, with 10 out of 10 for devious deeds and brutal strength, I'm still the blast from the past, who still hates steam engines, and I still do today. You haven't seen the last of me!
So in conclusion, if you're a younger Thomas fan who hasn't read the Railway series or never watched the original and CGI series, then be my guest to watch All Engines Go if you're interested. But if you're an older Thomas fan, then skip the show. It's not worth your time. In this case, please resist the temptation. Remember, they not only screwed up Thomas, they also screwed up this icon and this icon. Need I say more?
You're fine, Dogs Eating Dog 6. Besides, I'm glad to be part of the Super Origami Kingdom. This was my first time too.
Glad you joined, Alex. And you too, Astro. Before we all leave, we have some extra things to say. First, I will let Dogs Eating Dog 6 go first.
Thank you, Niall. While All Engines Go is not the worst thing ever on TV, I think they really should have known better. Oh, and speaking of All Engines Go, Joey Turner did this better a lot of years ago, and thankfully, it's not canon to the Thomas series, because that, alongside many others, is considered a parody series. I recommend you to watch these types of videos, because those were really funny, and they were pure comedy gold. Also check out my Gangplank Galleon mashup, which that came out recently, and the final act of the Origami King the musical will come out in the future. And for the next episode of the King Ollie Show, being the best and worst internet memes of all time, Count Bleck will be in there too. Stay tuned for that. Right after this, we're putting rant videos to a complete pause, as we shall stick to some positive videos this time. You know, just to take a break. Oh, don't get me wrong, we'll still do them, but not every once in a while, because we don't want that to be the main focus of this channel. However, more positive videos later, Niall will tackle his real despised show of all time. What is it? Well, he'll explain at the end before the credits, but for now, I shall return back to the Comet Observatory and have a breather. And to quote Poochie from The Simpsons, I have to go now. My planet needs me.
Alright guys, I do have some extra words to say too. I'm still working on the fan-made series like Bambi and His Friends Adventures and the Steam Railway. I'll keep working on them, But for now, I'm planning up for a theme medley, and it's The Fate of the Universe, featuring me as Master Luma, Niall as Mario, and Tamado as Bowser. Right after that will be in the final, or I will call it the grand finale. Doll City Doll 6 as Dark Bowser, Tamado as Bowser, Niall as Mario, Super Luigi Brand as Luigi, and me as Fawful. Oh, I almost forgot. Soon, I will do my own rant in Super Origami Kingdom, and it will be the worst character from SML. And who will it be? You better find out. That's all I will say. Now, I must go see my beautiful girl, Princess Luna. See you all next time. Dino Bunga!
Jurassic, do you have any other words to say?
Yes, I do! Coming soon to Super Origami Kingdom, me and my buddy Tamatoa will be doing a MonsterVerse Godzilla review, which includes Godzilla 2014, Kong Skull Island, Godzilla King of the Monsters, and Godzilla vs. Kong. So I hope you look forward to that. Anyways, I better get back to Bios and reunite with my sweet Lucina, as I have some Dilophosaurus looking after her. Catch you guys later in the next video!
Here's something I will say, guys. I'm still working on the Titanic video, but it will take some time to finish it. Soon in Super Origami Kingdom, me and Jason will do a duo rant about the worst movie, and it will be Raise the Titanic. There is everything wrong in there, so stay tuned for that. Now I must head back home. I'm glad to join Super Origami Kingdom. This is Astro Boy, blasting off. Bye, guys!
Like, share, and subscribe to our channels, fellas.
Now before I go, I have some last words to say. Please look forward to my King Only Final Battle Medley remake on my channel. That video will be longer and better than the old version. It will have gameplay footage, own made artworks, and brand new lyrics. And of course, the folded soldiers will be the new additions to the cover. And one more thing about the remake, Olivia is getting a new voice actor because reasons. Now if you'll excuse me, I need to get back to my house because my girlfriend, Mommy, is coming over for a movie night and I don't want to keep her waiting. But anyways, see you later, Niall. See you later, viewers.
Looks like I'm the only one now. Good thing, actually. Now, before I go back to the dream world, I would like to say something big and important. I know you're all wondering why I didn't swear uncensored, get really angry, and turn into my angry form. Well, it honestly doesn't piss me off enough to rage, and it doesn't boil my blood like Malekith and Surf's Up 2 did. So that being said, is Malekith and Surf's Up 2 still my most hated things ever? Well, to answer that question, no, not anymore. Let me tell you why. There is this show that came out in January 2023, far after All Engines Go came out. While still planning the All Engines Go group rant, this show came out, and I have seen so much hate for the show, with many rant videos on it. I honestly wasn't planning on watching this show because of the hate it got. But since this united the entire internet, in which everyone agrees that this show is horrible, I eventually decided to watch it only to see if it was as bad as literally everyone on the internet said it was. And let me tell you, they are right. It is that bad. I watch 2 episodes per day out of 10, and each episode keeps on getting worse and worse, and somehow it's getting a second season! Some of my friends also suffered through this show as well and hated it so much. So there's gonna be a group rant on this show starring me, Jurassic, Tony Sonic, Chad Peterson, and Destroyer Shy, and one member on my team. This show is that fucking awful that not only did I lose brain cells and can never recover, but I also lost my insanity and screamed in insanity. And that show is...
CTS Clusterfuck Velma!
Look at little
Thomas.
Junior. Gonna cry?
They probably won't even like me anymore.
No. He despised you. You were an embarrassment to him.
Ha ha ha. Serves you right, laughed Thomas.